So finally, there's a real challenge to CHAT GPT 4, even with Code Interpreter, and that is in the form of Anthropic's Claude 2. And we're going to take a look at how Claude 2 could take the crown of CHAT GPT. Let's check it out. So Anthropic, who also make and develop large language models, have announced the release of Claude 2 in a beta to the public. And right now, it's free as well. And it's very, very powerful. We'll have a little quick look at what it can do, and you'll see why it's quite exciting. We are pleased to announce Claude 2, our new model. Claude 2 has improved performances, longer responses, and we're going to come to that because it is really impressive and can be accessed via an API, as well as the new public-facing beta site, Claude AI, which is what I've been using for the last few days. And ironically, I've been using it a lot today because for some reason, ChatGPT seemed to be down or wasn't accessible for me. So it's been an absolute godsend and it's worked a treat. The main key benefits that Claude has over ChatGPT is people kind of consider it more conversational. It's easier to converse. And as you'll see when we get to it, you'll see that even the conversation is like a kind of text message conversation with the message in one side and the text, your kind of questions on the other, in the way that you might get sort of text messages or iMessage or something like that. And it clearly explains its thinking. It's less likely to produce harmful outputs and has a longer memory. Indeed, as I said, I will come to that. It's very impressive. We've made improvements from our previous models on coding, maths, and reasoning. For example, our latest model scored 76.5% on multiple choice section of the bar exam, that is the multiple choice section, up from 73% with their previous version, Claude 1.3. Claude 2 scores above the 90th percentile on the GRE reading and writing exams. Friendly, enthusiastic colleague or a personal assistant. That's very much how they're pitching this, as a sort of friendly, enthusiastic colleague or personal assistant. So, as they say here, it has long inputs. You can put in several documents, I think up to 5 documents, and we'll come to that, which is really incredible. And it will remember it all. It'll analyze it. You can upload 2 different documents and it'll analyze both documents. So, for example, they've uploaded 2 academic papers and then asked to explain the first paper, and then the second paper, put it in kind of columns and headings. And there we are, is loading the first document, then the other document. I mean, it can really take, uploading multiple articles, 83,000 tokens. So it can go up to 100,000 tokens, which, as I understand it, is significantly more than Chat GPT. Somebody told me it was around about 4,000 tokens. 100,000 tokens. I've had problems with Chat GPT in that you upload or you cut and paste or get it to analyze using one of its plugins, a website, and it just can't retain all the information in there. And so you sort of only get you get quite a shallow analysis and you don't get really in-depth analysis. So we'll be testing Claude 2.0 out to see that. And there we go. It goes to explain it, breaks down the first paper as requested, and then look, and the second paper puts it all neatly into these kind of tables. In addition, Claude 2 scored 71.2%, up from 56% on the Codex Human Eval, a Python coding test. So Python coding, really good. An example here using coding, which is in JavaScript. The amount of different files you can upload is quite kind of amazing. And then it created this interactive map. It's currently available in the US and the UK. Claude 2 powers our chat experience. It's generally available in the US and UK. We're working to make it more globally available. And then there's loads of other stuff there. But hey, that's enough talking. Let's do some demonstrating. So if you go to anthropic.com, you'll be able to go straight in and you can try it. And as I said, for now, it's free to use. They do have paid version, but for the moment, it's free to use. And they also make their API available for businesses and stuff like that. So you can see I've been having lots of conversations with it here. I was asking about Claude 2.0 benefits. Trouble is, the data in it doesn't have access to the internet, and the data on this goes up to a more recent date than CHAT GPT, so it has that advantage. But it didn't know about itself, which I thought was interesting because obviously the data that it's trained on stopped before Claude 2.0 was released. So I basically went to the Claude website and I cut and copied the text from it, and then I pasted it in. And straight away, rather than just sort of paste in the text into the question box, as it were, into this corresponding box, it just pasted it in as a text file, which I thought was quite cool. And then it's summarized here. So we might as well go through the summary. Claude 2.0 is a new improved model from Anthropic. Has longer responses and improved performances and can be accessed via API or new public beta website. And then all the scores I told you about. Now, this is the key thing here. The model can handle much longer inputs and outputs, up to 100,000 tokens. This allows working with longer documents or getting or generating multiple page outputs. I mean, you're talking definitely almost a whole book, a smallish book, but almost a whole book. So you can upload, as I say, up to sort of 5 documents, I think, depending on their length, and ask it to analyze it. I mean, this is incredible amount of tokens. As I said, I think ChatGPT is around 4,000 tokens you can upload, and certainly its output is kind of a bit limited. 100,000 tokens. That's incredible. They also claim Claude 2 is more harmless and harder to prompt to produce offensive and dangerous output. And it has more recent knowledge benefiting applications like coding assistants, which can leverage newer frameworks and libraries. So it's trained on a data set which is much more recent than ChatGPT. Then I asked it for a script, which I should be using for this. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some huge news in the world of generative AI, the release of Claude 2.0 by Anthropic. This really is a big deal because Claude is one of the leading conversational AI assistants out there right now. I can't wait to dive in and show you exactly what Claude 2.0 can do. It sets a new bar for generative AI. Make sure to stick around as I walk through demonstrations of its capabilities, blah, 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 blah. So there you go. It's been really useful today. So we're going to upload a document. So I've uploaded a document here. This is the BBC General Terms of Trade, which is a public document. And it is basically the terms on which independent production companies who make TV programs for the BBC will be contracted on. So this is sort of my job. Don't tell anyone it's my job. I know the document really well. In fact, I'll show you just an example of how long this document is. So this is the document, as you can see. Okay, these are the general terms of trade that the BBC operate in terms of contracting with independent production companies. As you can see, it is 60 pages long. Okay. Now I've tried this with CHAT GPT to varying degrees using one of their plugins. So basically, let's have a look here. The document is a production agreement between the BBC and an independent producer for commissioning a television program. It lays out the terms and conditions governing their relationship and the production of the program. Correct. There is another document actually, which I should upload at the same time, which is the overarching sort of code of operation, the code of practice. So it breaks it down as the definitions, the preconditions to BBC's commitment, lists the things the producer must do before the BBC is obligated, like get BBC approval of commissioning specification, budget, schedule, exactly. Set out the producer's obligations, like adhering to BBC editorial and technical standards, correct. Production talent agreement, section 6, so I know that, section 6, yeah. How the producer must contract performers. Finance, it's broken down each of the sections actually, which is really useful because sometimes I can't remember which section a certain clause is in. Let's go to here, payment for further uses, section 15, additional fees if the BBC wants more uses than covered by the initial payment. Tell me about the packages, these are basically repeats, in section 15. See if it understands that. Now, I'm using this document because this is a document I work with every day, so I know it back to front. And it, as I said, is a massive document. It's taken a little while, but after all, as I said, it's a 60-page document. I'm really pushing the boundary of what it can take. In fact, probably can take significantly more than this. This is why it's such a good, like, here we are. 2 packet, this is perfect. Yeah, this is exactly. Now, I've tried this with CHAT GPT and it didn't get this. It didn't understand this. Now, it's sort of paraphrased the whole section, which is fine. This is the cool thing with big language models like this, is where you can upload major documents, whether it's about your company or an academic paper or, a long agreement like this. And then you can just ask questions of it. And this is exactly right. This is exactly right. 1TX on BBC One, 2 on BBC Two, 2% of primary rights license fee for further packages and stuff like that. This is all completely correct. Although there is another document which alters some of these, which I should, in fairness, upload as well, because it overwrites some of these, is the license period. If you're worried about generative AI taking jobs or taking your job, yeah, you should be. Because I've used ChatGPT to help friends out on different things with advice or writing letters or an email of complaint and stuff like that. And it does such a good job. And it gets results much better than, if I wrote the letter myself or something like that, or they wrote the letter, because usually you're full of emotion and you just want the letter to be strong, clear and precise. Bingo, 5 years. Exactly. The license period is 5 years from the date of acceptance of the BBC of full delivery. That is exactly right. This is so cool. This is such a long document. I don't know the document off by heart. You'd think I would after all the years I've been working there. And sometimes searching for key aspects, or I think, where's that bit about such and such? Or where's, the clause that refers to, X, Y, Z? Well, it's all here and it breaks it down, the section, so you can have a conversation with it. Really, really cool being able to analyze in depth in a way that Chat GPT, even with its plugins, couldn't do. That's so cool. And as I said, in terms of the type of documents you can upload, there are so many. Add files, 5 maximum, 10 megabytes each, accepts PDFs, CSV, code, Python code, JavaScript, so many different types of files that it will take. But that's really, really cool. Let's see about creatively, though, how it can do. Okay, I want you to write me a fun poem in the style of Dr. Seuss about the man who works from home. See if it makes sense of that. See the speed there? Do you see the speed of that response? Here's a fun rhyming poem in the style of Dr. Seuss about a man who works from home. Oh, the jobs people can do from their house. It's quite wondrous, no need to go out. Take the man, he's a whiz on the keys, typing and clicking with great ease. He wakes up each day and logs on. His commute just a walk to his John. In sweatpants and slippers he's dressed. No need to impress, he's home to the rest. Emails he types with lightning speed, answers the phone when clients need, runs meetings online without a hitch, even when his kids need a stitch. When lunchtime arrives, he takes a short break, raids the fridge for food he can take. After eating, he's back on the grind. The hours fly by, he doesn't mind. At the end of the day, he shuts down with glee. The workday is done, now relaxation's the key. The man loves working right from his place. No traffic or office or shoes laced to lace. So whether in office or home as you work, as long as you do it, no need to shirk. The where doesn't matter when duties are done. They'll lead to success and also some fun. Brilliant. I think that is really, really good in the style of Dr. Seuss. I think this is a real threat to ChatGPT, or at least some real competition. Because quite frankly, although I enjoy using Google Bard, it's sort of being held back. The word on the street is Google are holding back Google Bard because it's pretty powerful and they're still a bit uncomfortable about how powerful it is. So they're just giving us like a little taster of it without really allowing us to have the full throttle Google Bard. So right now, this looks like it could be my new go-to. And while it's in beta form and currently free to use, certainly better than paying £20 a month for ChatGPT. I'm not sure what ChatGPT can do better than this for that $20 a month. And the paid version of Claude is significantly less in the amount of tokens you use than ChatGPT as well. So even if we move to a paid model or I have to subscribe, it's still better value for money. So there you go. I highly recommend you give it a go, try it out. I'm really, really impressed. The ability to absorb and read documents of such massive length, or even 5 documents, is really, really impressive. And it has a long, deep memory, unlike ChatGPT, which I find if you give it too much information, it kind of forgets. There's so much more exploration that I'm going to be doing with Claude 2.0. But hey, while it's in beta, give it a go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you've liked this video, then please hit the likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you're new here, why don't you hit that subscribe button, that one down there, yeah? And toggle the notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content like this. Talking of content like this, I highly recommend you check out these videos right here. Thanks for your time.